That moment when you're reading a manga, but then all of a sudden it becomes really real when Sir decides to say, how would you benefit my company? Damn. That is that's a pretty heavy question. Like, that's a loaded question and a heavy question, because holy fuck. That's really real, because that's what someone would say if they own a business. I mean, perfect example. You're fresh out of high school or fresh out of college, you have a degree, you go up to them, they have maybe 5 other people that have the same degree as you, and they'll look at you, put their glasses or whatever on, they'll look at you and it's like, how would you benefit my company? Obviously, I know how much you would benefit from being hired here, how much the pay is, to the, the benefits you would get for, let's say, health insurance and all this, whatever. I know you would benefit, but how would I? As the person that owns this business, how would I benefit from hiring you? And what Izuku is going through is just so real. I was like, Horikoshi, what the, like, whoa. Like, I don't know how many really got that, like, just how heavy that was, but that really was just so realistic when he asked us, like, how would you benefit my company? Why would I hire you? What's the point in hiring you? Because, I mean, I already have 2 sidekicks and, an intern and all that, a student intern. Why would I hire you? What's the point in it? Like, what would you do to really help me out that I don't already have? What do you bring new to the table? I mean, you don't have a funny bone in your body or whatever to make me laugh, so what could you bring to me, like, to make me interested in hiring you, to, even pay you in the first place? And I'm like, holy shit! Boku no Hero Academia, just that theme right there, I'm like, I know you do these realistic themes here and there, and also viewing how heroes and villains are, but holy shit, just the way Sir said that just hit home so hard with how so many businesses operate and how every business operates. Because when someone's going to hire you, they're going to look at your record, they're going to look at everything, your history, whoever's fired you or when you quit your job or whatever. They're going to look for everything like, okay, why'd you quit this job? Like, what was the reason for this? Or they're gonna look at you like, okay, so, I noticed you have this job, you don't have experience in this job, why should I hire you? Just what Sir was doing was just like, what someone would do if they're looking at you and they're trying to go through an interview with you. That's kind of what's going on. Like, I'm interviewing you, I want to know why. And it really surprised me with how Horikoshi was willing to put something like that in. Because since this is in Weekly Shonen Jump, I don't know how many would really catch that. Like, catch how much meaning that scene had. But we'll see where that goes. But overall, though, Sura as a character, I'm liking him. I'm really liking him as a character, even though I know he has the serious, face and all that. He does have a hidden side to him where he can laugh and just he loves comedy. I do like that serious approach from him as a businessman, the way he talks like that. It's because it's really refreshing seeing from a shonen manga of all things. I mean, a shonen manga. Yes, I've seen aspects of this here and there for other manga, shonen manga I've seen, but the way Sir delivered that was just so real that I just couldn't believe it. Because when I was trying to get my first job a long time ago at Tenko, I remember having to go through this, like, the company was asking me, why should we hire you, why should we do this, I mean, what would you bring, all this type of stuff, like an interview, and I'm like, damn, like, this is just like, holy crap, I know many can relate to that scene, and so, Sir, I like you, Horikoshi. I can't wait to see more of what you do with Sir's character, because right now, I'm truly enjoying him. And I also do love the emphasis on just stamping the side of the table. It's more for a comedic relief, I think. I think Sir was actually laughing inside of his head because of doing that. But when he was just stamping the side of the table beside the, the actual contract, he's like, I know what I'm doing. I don't want to freaking sign this contract. I don't want to stamp it or whatever. I don't want to do that. Because you want to know why? Because I see no interest in hiring you. I'm like, holy hell. So, besides that, let's just talk about the situation with Sir and Izuku's fight going on. So, right now, everything is stacked up against Izuku, but there is a way, from what I can see, that Izuku could win. There is a possibility, and one of the possibilities are towards the end of the chapter, which is kind of revealed. It's pretty obvious, and Horikoshi kind of spells it out at the end of the chapter, letting us know that maybe an increased speed, for instance, if Izuku goes all out and he moves incredibly fast back and forth, he can eventually just outdo the foresight from what Sir is doing. Even though Sir can predict moves, even though he knows what's going to happen next, it doesn't mean that he can keep up with the speed, because you gotta remember, he has a quirk ability to be able to see things coming, but it doesn't mean his body is just enhanced speed to where he could just like boom, 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 you know, back behind him or whatever. He can't do that type of shit. There's just no way. So, I'm assuming that what Izuku is trying to do is just beat him in a match of speed. If he could just go so fast where Sir can't keep up, he can grab the stamp, and that's GG right then and there. But there is another option. Let's just take a little bit of a hint that we got in this chapter, which I feel like was more of reverse psychology than anything else. Sir is incredibly intelligent. The way he acts like a businessman and all of that, we know he is not dumb. And I feel like the way he said, like, I don't care what you do to this room, do whatever you want, I feel like he was trying to use reverse psychology on Izuku. This isn't the first time that Horikoshi has used mind games in his series, having characters play with each other's mind just to outsmart the opponent, and I feel like that's what Sir was trying to do. He's like saying, I don't care if you know you harm this room, but in reality, he does care, because let's think about Sir's character, his other side. Izuku was able to notice how much of a fan Sir was of All Might. He's like, this man is a super fan, because we found out from Izuku in this chapter that the reason why he makes this certain All Might expression is thanks to something that not many fans really care about. Like, the fans of All Might, there's this one certain thing that many of them don't really care about. They just write it off and say it's really not that important because All Might didn't fight a villain, it wasn't a badass fight or anything like that, so many just write it off. But Izuku makes this type of facial expression because it was a time when All Might jumped in the middle of water, which was turned into vinegar, to be able to save a boy, and he actually harmed his eyes. And when he was doing an interview, his eyes were squinched up when he was trying to talk and smile, which is why Izuku made that face with those type of wrinkles, and he was actually talking to Sir about this. He's like, this is why I make this face, and Sir was able to understand what line that All Might said. He knew word for word what All Might actually said in the past in that interview, even though it is something so, like, little. It's something that not many really care about. So it shows you to the level of how much Sir respects All Might, or how big of a fan he is. Because a true hardcore fan knows about these little details, and remembers the little details, and also remembers the phrase of their idols, which Sir obviously remembers what All Might said. So for him to go that far and remember stuff like that shows how much he cares about All Might. So someone like this obviously cares about their, you know, possessions of All Might. For instance, like their figures, posters, whatever. They probably care quite a bit about that. And when he said, I don't care what happens to this room, that was reverse psychology. He's trying to play Izuku to where he's like, it doesn't matter, but if Izuku starts wrecking everything, destroying everything in the room, he's probably gonna get pretty fucking agitated and upset. Like, let's just look at the poster that Izuku was talking about. Like, oh, I want that poster, that 10-year anniversary item. That's something I really want. What if Izuku was to wreck that, just completely destroy that? Obviously, Sir's probably gonna get pissed off, and I feel like that's gonna be the downfall of Sir. It's gonna be wrecking something he truly cares about, and then, you know, Izuku's gonna be able to grab the stamp and then sign the contract. That's what I think is gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna necessarily be about speed. I think it's gonna come down to the merchandise of All Might. That's going to determine this matchup, and I love Sir so far. Like I've already said, love his character, I love how he's interacting with Izuku, and I just love how he has this serious expression on and he just says it like it is. He's a great character. Horikoshi, I love what you're doing with him so far. Besides that, however, there wasn't really much else that was going on in this chapter. I mean, it was a relatively simple chapter focusing on Izuku and, you know, Sir, and I'm fine with that. It was a good chapter for that regard, and we needed a chapter focus on this because that's the whole point of the chapter, and I can't wait to see where Horikoshi takes it from this point onward. So how was your guys' thoughts on this chapter? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? How are you feeling about Sir? Do you think Sir is a good character? Are you not liking his character? I mean, just please be honest. How do you feel about everything that's going on? And how close to home did that, you know, entire message of what Sir said to Izuku hit you? I mean, when he said, like, how would you benefit my company? How did you feel about that? Did that hit close to home? Please let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. And I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.